border in Ireland once the UK leave. European Customs Union. The UK put forward fresh proposals last week, but the reaction from the EU hasn't been positive. The Tunisian presidential candidate Nabil Karoui has been released from prison just 4 days before Sunday's runoff election. The media tycoon was detained in August before the first round of the presidential election, in which he came second, on charges of money laundering and tax evasion. Mr. Karoui criticised his detention as politically motivated. 2 matches at the Rugby World Cup tournament in Japan have been cancelled because of the expected arrival of Typhoon Hagibis. Christopher Jones reports.
With the typhoon set to be the biggest and most destructive one to reach Japan this year, tournament organisers are taking the unprecedented step of cancelling 2 matches, including England against France, after all contingency plans were declared unfeasible on logistics and safety grounds. It means England are guaranteed to top Pool C and will start preparing for a quarter-final, but Scotland are left in limbo. They'll have to wait until Sunday morning before finding out if their crucial match with Japan goes ahead, and are putting pressure on World Cup bosses to come up with alternative arrangements. However, tournament officials say this isn't possible, which has infuriated the Scottish camp.
The Nobel Prizes for Literature for both 2018 and 2019 are due to be awarded in the Swedish capital Stockholm later today. Last year's award was postponed after a sexual and financial abuse scandal which led to a number of resignations at the independent body that makes the awards. Following the scandal, major changes were introduced over how the prize is awarded. That's the latest on BBC News.
Thanks for the news. Hello, welcome to Newsday. Carney Sharp and Paul Hawkins with you. We're going to be heading to north-eastern Syria in a moment.
And we'll also look at another potential medical breakthrough: experiments with monkeys suggest it may be possible to stimulate the brain in a way that makes it replicate the sensation of that. More on that to come, plus more on the protests caused by fuel price rises too. We heard from women in Zimbabwe earlier, where ordinary people now have to spend a full monthly salary to fill up their car. Fuel price rises by 100% are also at the heart of the continuing protests in Ecuador. So more on that to follow here on Newsday.
But first, on Wednesday, the Turkish military began its offensive called Operation Peace Spring, an incursion into northern Syria just days after President Trump controversially withdrew US troops from the area. Not long ago, Washington insisted that the US president did not give Turkey the green light. The assault began with air raids and with artillery attacks. Towns and villages have been hit, and residents were seen fleeing the hit areas in panic. The Turkish president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, said his aim was to destroy what he called a terror corridor on his country's southern border, adding he wanted to bring peace to the region. But the people who he has just attacked, the Kurdish fighters, or the YPG, have played a central role in the US-led battle against Islamic State. Federica Gerding is a journalist specializing in Kurdish affairs.
Last night, Turkey tried to start a ground offensive, or they removed blocks from the border wall that they've built on the border between Turkey and Syria. They tried to get in at the town of Serkaniye. This is also where most of the bombings are taking place. But for now, they haven't been able to get in, but I'm sure sooner or later they will be successful.
Well, we've been hearing that from the Kurdish side that some of the civilian areas have been attacked. What have you heard? Have there been any casualties at all?
Yes, apparently they've been hitting civilian areas because civilians have been killed. Also around Kamishlo, one of the main cities right at the border, a Christian family, 2 people in a Christian family were killed, which also shows again that it's not just about Kurds in this area. It's a very mixed area where also other groups are living. For now, I think some 8 deaths have been confirmed, but I'm not sure if it's gone up higher already.
Now, this is a very fragile region, Frederica. We understand that there are many so-called ISIS fighters there that have been captured. It gives them a potential opportunity, doesn't it, to actually break out, because that ideology that IS fighters have still exists, if not within the camps, but in that region itself.
Yes, and the thing is, it could be that soldiers or SDF fighters that are guarding the camps are called to come to the front line, so that the security around the camps will decrease, which makes it easier, of course, for people to escape. But also, it's not only about our whole camp where the women and the children are, it's also about the prisons where the male ISIS fighters are being kept. And they are much closer to the border and within the area that Turkey initially wants to take. So that is much more fragile even.
Which has been the major concern since this story of the US troops being withdrawn from the area broke early on in the week. Now, the US military has taken into custody 2 of the so-called Islamic State fighters nicknamed the Beatles. They were responsible for the execution of Western hostages in the area. Do you have any more details about that?
No, I've seen it, but I don't have any more details about that. But what I want to stress also is that there are cities right along the